you're at right now is our engineering stand. All right, you guys all know what Little Fuse is about, circuit protection. This is our first line of defense and our most important line of defense when it comes to not just protecting Tony, but protecting our race car. And I've told these guys this in the past, but the real brains of the operation is on 6 laptops that you see not set up here because they're back in that far right truck that I showed you before we came out here. And that's post-practice, post-qualifying, post-race. You hit a download cable, goes into the car. Everything that the car did for every single second while it was on the track is downloaded. They bring it back into the truck, and everybody collectively, not just the 11 car, but also the 5 car and also the 8 car, we share data across the entire system here, which sometimes for us, as Mauser Little Fuse, is good, and sometimes it's a waste of time because of the way different drivers drive. So you can sometimes gain things, but sometimes you don't. We scan the low, I just checked yesterday, the low is 90, the high is 105 channels of data that we scan. The other 40 or 50 they're getting exclusively scanned by the IndyCar series, by Cosworth or Pi, which they do all of our onboard electronics and software systems, or by Chevy. On an engineering stand, which is where you're standing now, we have got a few very important people. We have a senior engineer, which in our case is Eric Cowden. You have a junior engineer. We have a DAG, D-A-G, which is the data acquisition guy. We have an Ilmor rep. Ilmor is the exclusive engineering company for Chevrolet and Pratt & Miller. So at all times we have him on our engineering stand, and he is 100% and at all times watching that motor. We can't fire it up without his permission on temps, on diagnostics. Where is it at? Are we good to go? Yes, we'll fire it up. So he's kind of the first line of defense, if you will, for the motor. And then we've got our car chief or crew chief who will come in and button in at every one time whenever he's not paying attention to the car. And we have our race strategist, Tom Wirtz, who kind of quarterbacks the whole deal. What these guys do, starting at the very bottom, we have DAG, Woody, our DAG, data acquisition guy. He takes all of the 100 to 150 channels of data that the car is streaming from the car to this stand, ultimately to all of these screens and laptops that you don't see that normally would be here. He takes that, he puts it in readable packets of information. He automatically uploads it to our junior engineer. The junior engineer looks at it and says, in a very 30,000 foot level, what is the car doing? What are the issues? He takes those important packets based on what the problems are, sends them or communicates them to our senior engineer, who is Eric Cowden. Eric Cowden then looks at that information and makes a decision based on what he's seeing, what changes need to be made to the car, or maybe we're okay. He radios that or tells it to Tom Wirtz, who's the chief strategist. In this case, he's kind of the quarterback of the group, and he relays the message to Tony in the most calm, controlled way possible, we hope.